Hello there. We are going to start another read aloud this week, and it is from the Mercy Watson series, which I hope you're enjoying. And it's called Mercy Watson Goes for a Ride. And this is a Theodore Seuss Geisel honor book. So it won a special award. Very, very cool. And it is still by Kate DiCamillo and illustrated by Chris Van Dusen. So the same people, the same illustrator for the story. So you'll notice the pictures look similar and the same author as last week's book. So let's see what this pig gets into. So we see right now from the cover, she is going for a ride. Sounds fun. She's not your ordinary pig. All right, chapter 1. Mr. Watson and Mrs. Watson have a pig named Mercy. Every Saturday, Mrs. Watson makes a special lunch. Time for our little Saturday something, Mrs. Watson says. You've outdone yourself, Mrs. Watson, says Mr. Watson. Oink, says Mercy. Look at this. That is a pretty serious Saturday lunch. Cake, and it looks like a Jell-O mold, a cake in the shape of a bunny, and lots of sandwiches. It almost looks like there is a lasagna, which sounds great and could potentially be what my family's having for dinner tonight. Every Saturday after lunch, Mr. Watson goes outside. Mercy follows him. They stand in the driveway. Together, they admire Mr. Watson's convertible. Guys, do you know what a convertible is? It is a car that doesn't have a top. So let's look at this picture. It is a pink convertible. That's pretty cool. Are you ready? Asks Mr. Watson. Oink, says Mercy. And Mr. Watson opens the passenger door. Mercy hops into the car. She sits behind the wheel and she snuffles contentedly. Do you know what it means to be content? If you're content, you're happy with how everything is. You feel really just happy. You don't want anything extra and everything feels good. All right, let's see what chapter 2 has to say. Hey, 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 says Mr. Watson, every Saturday. You, my dear, are a porcine wonder. But even porcine wonders cannot drive cars. And that's another word for pig. So he's saying he's a pig wonder, but he can't drive a car. Mr. Watson gently pushes Mercy towards the passenger seat, but Mercy does not move. She does not want to sit in the passenger seat. Mercy wants to drive. Hey, 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 says Mr. Watson again, and he gently pushes her. Scoot over, my dear. Mercy does not move. Help me, Mr. Watson calls out. Every Saturday, Mrs. Watson steps outside. Let's see what happens next. Darling, Mrs. Watson says, if you let Mr. Watson drive, I will make you an extra helping of hot buttered toast. Remember, Mercy loves the buttered toast. I will have it waiting for you when you get back. Mercy narrows her eyes. Guys, can you narrow your eyes? She loves hot buttered toast. She also loves extra helpings. So look at Mercy right here. Mercy really wants to drive. Let's see what happens. Slowly, very slowly, she moves over to the passenger side. What a dear, says Mrs. Watson. She claps her hands. You are such a good sport, darling. Yes, says Mr. Watson. She most certainly is. He gets in the car and he sits behind the wheel. He turns the key in the ignition. The Watson convertible rumbles to life. All right, let's go ahead and read chapter 3. Bon voyage, Mrs. Watson calls. Bon voyage, my dears. When you get home, we will all have hot buttered toast. Goodbye, Mrs. Watson, Mr. Watson shouts. He backs the car out of the driveway very quickly. He does not look behind him. Mr. Watson is a forward-looking man. He does not believe in looking back. Oink, says Mercy. Already she's having a good time. And we're off, says Mr. Watson. We're off on an adventure. Look at how happy they both look. Guys, do you ever take your dog for a ride in the car if you have a dog? We took Buster for a ride a week ago, and he was the happiest dog in the entire world. Just, he was wagging his tail, and he was practically smiling. And it looks to me like Mercy is smiling. I love it. Oh, and that was chapter 3. So tomorrow, tune in after you finish all of your work to hear me read a few more chapters of Mercy Watson Goes for a Ride. I'm sure she's going to get into some kind of adventure. She did last time, didn't she? See you later.